turn it was to clean the gutters. But then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer. And again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
The news and talk
our country has been under assault
that matters to St. Louis.
The crisis on the border is totally created by Joe Biden.
It has to stop because otherwise we're not going to have a country.
This is 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Dan, 24/7 at Bongino.com.
Who's that next week? Vince, Kira, and you? Is that the lineup? Okay. Just a quick announcement. By the way, if you missed any of the content today, today's podcast, listen, self-praise thinks I get it, but I love you guys. Today's podcast is so worth your time. Please don't miss it. I was just on a roll this morning. I had way too many cups of blackout coffee. Check it out, rumble.com/Bongino. You can watch the show, watch my facial expressions. You can also watch my coverage of the debate last night with Evita. That's all there. We're setting records for our video on demand and our live streaming. We'd love to have you on Rumble. It's free. Also, give us a follow at Apple and Spotify or listen wherever you get your podcasts. We really appreciate that. And next week, I will be off. It's a little summer vacation with the family. Be out in the great state of Montana a little bit, saying hello to some folks and just enjoying some time away. Jim will be hosting, the great Kira Davis, Vince Colonese, good friend of mine. They're all terrific hosts. Love them all. We'll have a couple best ofs. We'll have some unique content on Rumble, too, that we created for you guys. So check that out. We really appreciate it. And I just want to get to this cut. Let me tell you what. Let me do something. I want to get to this cut. We're going to end today with this because this, I think, was the most devastating take on from the left. From the left. I haven't even played conservative commentators talking about the debate debacle for Biden last night. This is from the left. I'll get to that in a second. Stay tuned. Hey, we recently had some big news. Very few people are talking about. For the first time in our history, it's been reported that the interest we pay on the national debt surpassed every individual budget item except Social Security. That's right. The U.S. now spends more on interest than on national defense or even Medicare. And it's only getting worse as big government continues to spend and spend and spend. There's red ink everywhere. That's why savvy investors, central banks, and concerned savers are turning to gold, something not tied to the inflated U.S. dollar. You can too with the help of Birch Gold, BIRCH. For over 20 years, Birch Gold Group has helped thousands of Americans protect their savings by converting an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. To learn more, text Bongino to 989898 and claim your free, no obligation info kit on gold. Birch Gold has earned my trust with their education-first approach, their thousands of happy customers, and their countless five-star reviews. That's why I buy my gold from Birch Gold. Help protect your savings. Text Bongino to 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
Dan Bongino.
So my humble opinion, IMHO, I met this guy before, this guy John King from CNN when I was running for office in Maryland. That he's probably a left-leaning guy, whatever. He's at CNN. It's pretty much obligatory. You'd be left-wing. But he's not a real bomb thrower, Jim, right? We could probably agree. I mean, he's not like Rachel Maddow crying on TV, like, I got Trump tax returns, and then you find out he paid more taxes than you did. This takedown is devastating. This happened right after the debate. And folks, this criticism from the left, from guys like this, because remember, they have the same issue we do. There's a schism in their party too, where some of the swampies don't like the AOC types. You know, it's like us. We get the MAGA guys, and then some of the old school swampies don't like. They have the same issues. So when a guy like this talks on CNN, people are like, maybe I should listen up. This is not good for Biden. Check this out.
Right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials. It involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket. And they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public?
You know, I played for you the Young Turds guy. I read to you what the Pod Save America guys were generally saying. All left-wing kind of bomb throwers. This is just a normal newsy type guy on CNN who probably keeps contact with Democrat swampies. They got their swampies too. Folks, they're devastated. They don't know what to do. And Sean Davis just masterfully explained the very serious logistic and political problem they have now. How the hell do you kick Biden off the ballot after Democrat voters in 50 states just selected him as the guy? Oh, and it wasn't another candidate. No, there was. Remember, they kept RFK out of the move, made him run as an independent, and then Dean Phillips ran. There was a candidate. You just didn't want him. You had an option, but you picked this guy. So you're going to call us crazy MAGA fascist election deniers when you just held an actual election in every state and then just denied the results by picking someone else? Folks, they're in a pickle right now. And then what about Kamala Harris, who Biden openly said was some DEI hire? He didn't even mention her by name. He said, I'm going to hire a black female Supreme Court vice president. He said it, not us. What do you now, walk away from all that? I thought you said that would be the best person for the job. DEI characteristics instead of merit. You walk away from that now? Man, they're in a bind. And I got to tell you, I'm enjoying every bit of it. And I don't give a damn what they have to say. All right, folks, we'll be off next week. We got some great guest hosts for you, some great content on Rumble. You're really going to love it. Jim's going to run a pretty solid best of, too. I will see you back the following Monday.
What's the key to maximizing the value of your outdoor space? Satisfaction. And getting a fence or deck that exceeds expectations with the highest quality, American-made material. And working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. And adding safety and security for your family and pets to play, relax, and entertain. At STL Fenceworks, satisfaction is our core value. Doing it right the first time, standing above the competition. At STLFenceworks.com, your satisfaction is our passion.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com. BonchinoDebate.com.
Larry Connors, USA.
Hunter Biden and his artwork.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. What a coward.
The art gallerist apparently claimed that one of Hunter's financial backers purchased most of his paintings for $875,000. What's this? Oh, it's a scribble, but really it's a man walking into his future and seeing his past at the same time.
You are the epitome of white privilege.
They were laundering money, and he had all of his friends coming forward to help him out.
Larry Connors, weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNVS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Democrats are panicking about the election following President Biden's shaky debate performance. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
Throughout this election campaign, the 81-year-old president has faced consistent questions about whether he's too old for another 4 years on the job. On the debate stage here in Atlanta, Mr. Biden's performance was marked by repeated stumbles and awkward moments of silence. Afterwards, there was a heightened level of concern about his fitness for office. The president's outing was so rough that Democrats are publicly and privately questioning whether he should be the party's presidential nominee. Greg Clugston, Atlanta.
Also at townhall.com, a number of Supreme Court decisions announced. One of them, the court upended a 40-year-old decision that made it easier for the federal government to regulate the environment, public health, workplace safety, and consumer protection.
The court delivered a far-reaching and potentially lucrative victory to business interests, ruling in cases brought by fishermen in New Jersey and Rhode Island. The justices overturned the 1984 decision known as Chevron. Billions of dollars are potentially at stake and challenged as it could be spawned by the ruling. The heart of the Chevron decision says federal agencies should be allowed to fill in the details when laws are ambiguous.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Opponents of the decision argued it gave power that should be wielded by judges to government experts. Severe weather over days causing havoc and destruction across the U.S. The storms in the Northeast came on the heels of widespread flooding in parts of the Midwest, including Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and South Dakota. In recent days, much of the country also hit with a scorching heat wave. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 146 points, and the NASDAQ is losing 37. More at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Mainly cloudy skies today, hot and a little bit humid. We could see a spot shower or two this afternoon, but a much better chance for showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight, and a very low chance into tomorrow that we could see a severe storm. About a 60% chance of rain or storms on Saturday, but Sunday looks epic. Mid-80s, sunny skies, and lower humidity. Enjoy your weekend. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Harrow.
This hour of Colombo and Katie brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com. Tony Colombo.
Libertarianism is all about individual liberty.
Katie Fitzpatrick.
Oh, good for you.
Colombo and Katie on News Talk STL.
Time to rise has been engaged. We're better, best to rearrange. I'm talking here
Good afternoon, St. Louis. What a wild ride we're about to take you on here on Colombo and Katie. I am Katie Fitzpatrick. I'm your host this afternoon. I will be talking with you from 2 to about 3:45 about all of the crazy stuff we encountered last night, and I am so thrilled to be here and to speak with you all and hopefully get all of your opinions about what you saw, what you heard, likes, dislikes, pros, cons. I want to hear all of it. So go ahead and please watch us on our live streams. If you see me on the live stream, you also probably see two amazing gentlemen that I always ask to be with me whenever I host. Gabe Pfeiffer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning. Hello, Gabe.
You know what time it is.
Hello, Gabe. Gabe is
Pfeiffer
with us every Friday. We love it. And so is the wonderful Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show. Hello, Ken.
Oh, you're so kind, but keep in mind.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I got a cold right now.
I got a cold that I didn't tell anybody about until this exact moment.
44 minutes into the debate. Well, Joe Biden has a cold.
He has a cold, remember.
You didn't know that?
Yep. That's what he said.
You're
And
a smart ass.
I love it.
Ken's coming in hot
I am
with the debate commentary, too. Yeah, I love it.
I am so excited. I am so pumped for today. As everybody already knows, because everybody's been listening to the radio, I'm sure they've been listening to the station all day. They've also been watching their favorite pundits. Last night they were on Twitter. This is political WWE. This is political Stanley Cup. This is the World Series. What we witnessed last night is what makes all of us here at News Talk STL and anybody else that is politicking. We are just in the zone.
Oh, man. I got to say, I saw as I'm watching the debacle kind of the slow motion train wreck in process, I'm just sitting there just licking my chops. I'm just a little giddy. It's like, we're going to talk about this tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so awesome.
Totally. And last night at Johnny's, it was, as the kids say, lit. Johnny's Hideout last night was so amazing. Thank you guys for showing up to Johnny's Hideout for our debate watch party. News Talk STL was everywhere. It was body to body. Once the debate started, everybody did settle down. But my God, you guys, News Talk STL listeners are the best. We had two phenomenal blowout events this week, back to back, and everybody showed up and everybody was there to just support us and to be with us. And we just love you guys and thank you so much. Ken, crazy pants last night.
Oh yeah, it was pretty much. It was a lot of fun, and that's I have to reiterate what you just said about the listeners, because we were there. I was there with my wife and my daughter. My daughter is getting an education because she's young, a little progressive. And I'm listening to her as she's watching Joe Biden do what he was doing and Donald Trump doing what he was doing, and all the listeners that were come up and saying hi. And she's like, I never knew it was like this.
Oh, wow.
And so she was learning some things. And I want to thank the people who came up to talk to her.
Yes.
Because I say things about my family, and I mentioned Abby, and I mentioned my wife. And they came up, Abby. I remember your picture. So
you're a proud papa.
Yeah,
Proud
I really am. I'm proud. She's a very hardworking girl.
This is a proud
She's
papa
a hardworking person, and I just want to say thank you to all the listeners just coming out and coming up and saying hi. It was just so much fun.
We had so much fun. And again, guys, I would love for you to comment and watch us on our live streams right now, because I'm going to tell you guys some notes that I jotted down. I want to hear what Gabe has to say. I want to hear what Ken has to say, but I also desperately want to hear what you guys have to think. And I really want to, in our next segment, I want to talk about your comments. I want to know what you thought. I want to see if you loved it, if you hated it, whatever the case may be. Please comment on our live streams. You can watch us on any of our social media platforms. Give us a like, give us a follow, and also comment. And I want to hear that thought process of yours. Okay. Let's because there is so much. Today is going to be debate day. There will be other things we talk about. There will be other guests we're going to have on Thrive STL, people I absolutely love. We're going to be talking to Kevin. He's part of the leadership team at Thrive. We're going to be talking to Tony at the end of the show because I have to hear what he thinks. This is what I think, short and sweet. I'll go first, then we'll go Gabe, then we'll go Ken, because we got to know.
Yes.
Okay. Last night I said this. Glad it was CNN. I went into it thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be a total debacle. Everyone's going to gang up on Trump. There is no way Trump is going to have to come out with teeth sharp, claws sharp, going against 3 people last night. I truly believe that going on CNN made Trump in control. I thought it made him patient. I thought it made him measured. I think he went into it knowing I am going into the lion's den, and the only way that I win is to be in control of this situation. So I came out of the debate saying, glad it was on CNN. Number 2, mad as hell at Joe Biden. What Jill Biden as a wife would be doing to her husband, take out the presidency, take out power, take out elections, to be a wife and allow your husband to do what he did last night on the debate stage and then have the audacity to turn around and say he did a good job and pat him on the head. Shame on you. That's despicable. And we know she's the one that's pushing him. She's power hungry. Joe Biden, weak, old, feeble, incoherent. Donald Trump, measured, controlled, observant. Big, big, big thing. I think he was observant of the room. The last thing I said, there was a bunch more, but the last thing that I will read for my short and sweet synopsis is, this is the end of Joe Biden's campaign. Everybody is turning on him. All of his friendlies are turning on him. What the performance we saw last night is going to cripple him so badly that even if he continues to run, there is nobody on Joe Biden's side anymore.
Yeah.
Gabe, what are your thoughts?
Pretty similar to yours, but one thing that struck me was the post-debate discussion, because I kind of I stuck around long enough watching. I think I was watching CBS News coverage of the thing, just because that's what was coming across my streaming platform or whatever I had in my Roku. And they had their analyst. They introduced their analyst, and she, when she came on, she kind of takes this deep breath and says, well, we can't really mince words here. And then she just kind of went in and spoke about what we all saw with our eyes. And I was shocked because where were you guys? What's for months and months, years, basically,
Yes.
we've been hearing from these same people how questions about Joe Biden's competency are overwrought. It's right-wing conspiracy theory. From KJP, it was these are cheap fakes where there's deceptively cut together videos and edited to make him look a certain way, but that's far from the truth. We heard from certain anchors, and I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember, whatever. He was one of these morning trash shows, and he was talking about 3 months ago about how he's better than ever. Joe Biden was
it Joe Scarborough?
Scarborough. It was Scarborough.
I have a clip that we're going to play later from Scarborough. Continue, Gabe, but yes.
But that clip came to mind and was just like, this is what these people were saying just months ago. And now all of a sudden, oh, well, it's apparent that Joe Biden doesn't have it. We got to consider putting a new person on the ticket. So you've been gaslighting us this entire time, and you're not admitting it. You're just simply turning on a dime and now joining the chorus of people who can see with their eyes what's happening.
Gabe, it's crazy because Ken said something so similar right before you walked in today. I know that Ken has the same, very agreeable and maybe even similar thought process as you. Like, where have you been this entire time?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things about the debate last night was what happened at the very end. Did you ever see somebody with a mic drop moment where they just walk off stage?
Oh, yeah.
Trump did that.
Oh, yeah.
Trump was finished. He didn't say, "Oh, bye, everybody." He didn't walk over to the announcers or to the host and say, "Thank you so much for a good debate." He looked at them, boom, see ya, and he walked away. Joe, on the other hand, it took him 2.5 minutes for his wife to help him down off of these stairs that weren't even stairs, really. They were just
couple platforms.
And then she walked him over to them up the steps, and then actually almost took his hand and said, "Here, shake it." I mean, it was amazing to me to watch all that. I think we've been too easy on the media. I don't think the media, when we said, because we said this today too, Gabe, we said, Vic and I, the media is like they weren't aware of this whole thing the whole time, and then suddenly now they're aware.
Wow, I see it
out of the blue. Now, I know on our show and on your show, we've been playing these clips for 3 years, and somehow we knew we had this inside information for the last 3 years, And the media, they didn't know. Well, I think it's bull. I think they knew.
Of course.
They know. They're a propaganda wing of the Democrat Party. I think they're complicit. I think they've been exposed. And I think even more so than we've ever said before, the media should not be trusted and we should not be listening to. And I'm talking about the Pfizer corporate media.
No, I totally agree, Ken. And I think for a very long time, conservatives have been saying, you need to be judicious about the media you consume. You need to understand that everybody has a bias, everybody has a leaning. There is no middle of the ground anymore. Everyone is rooting for a team, probably because of money. Follow the money. Who's
That's what you
behind
should
it.
always do. Yeah.
And I think we've been saying it for a really long time. But last night, even before, all day, even before the debate, last night, Democrats had a pit in their stomach because they realized they were able to, as Joe Scarborough did, rally around Biden, convince us that he was okay and that he was strong and he was the best he's ever been and he's physically fit and he's intact, all of these things. But last night, there was so much truth that happened. And that, again, is why I was happy it happened on CNN, because the truth had to happen on the most dishonest network that is really in my lifetime right now. And there's nothing that anyone could do about it. There was nothing Jake Tapper could have done about it. There was nothing that Dana Bash could have done about it. The CEOs in the suits watching the debate, they couldn't do anything about it. They had to sit there and watch the train wreck that is Joe Biden, the guy they have been rooting for and pushing down our throats for the last 4 years. And here comes Trump. Everybody is ready for Trump to be the bull in the china shop. Everyone's ready for Trump to not have taken the advice, to overspeak, to interrupt, to interject, the whole 9 yards. And what did he do? He observed. He saw his surroundings. And that man last night got the moderates. He got the independents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He got them because he took the advice and he said to himself, I have MAGA. I have people that love my policies. I have some evangelists still. But the people I need to get into widen the umbrella are the independents. And this is the only way I can do it. And he did it. He was nails. I have no complaints about what Trump did.
No notes.
I have no complaints about what Trump did.
I would say Donald Trump from now on should take a mute button with him. I mean, because I think that was the biggest thing when we were breaking down all of the different requirements that the Biden administration had, because it really, if you think about it, guys, it was not CNN, it was the Biden administration that had all these different rules that they were putting in place. Some say, no, it was CNN. Okay, well, you know what? If they weren't communicating,
it's the same.
Tell me they weren't communicating. Tell me CNN and the Biden administration were not communicating. Bull, okay? They decided we're going to have a mute button and stop that Trump from talking. Well, you know what? When I first heard that, I thought, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes, me too.
Donald Trump is not going to be able to interrupt Joe. Joe's going to have to talk his whole way through. And what did he do? He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Not finish.
Not finish.
I was arguing the entire time that all of the rules that were set forth were actually going to benefit Trump. You know,
really?
That was one of the things, because people were saying, oh, all of these rules they benefit Joe.
That was me. I was so skeptical about the rules.
No, I was like, this benefits Trump because it kind of forces him to rethink his strategy. You can't bull in China shop. And one of the things that one of my major critiques of Trump's his previous debates with Joe Biden was that he didn't give Joe enough time to hang himself with his own rope.
Right.
So because Joe would Don would interrupt him while he was hanging himself. It's like, and of course, we're going back to Sun Tzu. Okay, this is Art of War. He's the art of the deal guy. I'm the art of war guy. Okay, it's never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. But Trump couldn't help himself.
He couldn't.
So now with the with the mute button rule, you know, well, he's like, well, okay, fine. I guess if that's the rule, I'm not even going to bother say anything. So he was measured because he realized that he was going to look silly just mouthing, you know, a response. So he just took it in stride because that's what he was going to have to do.
I love that you said that, Gabe, because I was totally, even the mute one, Ken, I was like, when these rules came out, I was like, Bunny Stew, hogwash. This sucks. This stinks. I cannot believe they're doing mute.
Hey, no audience.
I couldn't believe I was ragging on it, thinking it was built for Joe Biden. And I hate giving CNN all this credit. I
Yeah.
don't want to,
Mhm.
but I was someone that watched that and I was proud of the debate. I wasn't proud of Biden.
Obviously,
Certainly
no.
not Biden and the performance that was so appalling to me and literally shocking to me. But I was proud that everyone could hear what they had to say. They made their points. Everyone took their turn. It was a nice contrast compared to the debates that we just saw 4 short years ago. So to
Mhm.
me, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can get behind this.
I can get behind this, right, Ken?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, Donald Trump is a billionaire. He's a man who's learned so many lessons. He's failed and he's succeeded. He's been president of the United States. And I think last night, Donald Trump learned something.
I do too.
I think Donald Trump realized, wow, you know what? I know I've probably done this in many of my corporate meetings. Be quiet, let everybody speak. But I never really thought about doing that in my presidential position. He did, and it worked to his benefit so much.
Mhm. New weapon in his arsenal.
Yes.
Oh, totally. And this is going to be a new Trump. There's going to be a lot of characteristics that people really love
Mhm.
that he'll keep because it's Trump at the end
yeah.
of the day. He'll do his rallies. He'll
Mhm.
still go full bore on his rallies.
They're
But
prepping in Virginia right now.
But there is some things that he has learned that he needs to win the election by. And I would love to discuss that next. I also want to get to your comments. Can't wait to read some of these comments next. And I do want to get to some of that the Democrat pundits, the politicians that are freaking out, losing their hair. Just cannot believe what they saw last night. I'm also going to read some commentary from them. You are listening to Colombo and Katie on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
Nobody can do it like that. Nobody. I tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind.
I think you're a little confused. News, analysis, opinion.
I've got something to say and I can't hold it any longer.
1019 and 94.1.
You won't hear the truth anywhere but here. News Talk STL.
News Talk STL.
Crazy times out there, and if you need help, and I can't imagine anybody that doesn't need help in these areas, securing your family's financial future or your business's financial future, you need to call David Ryan and his team at Cadre Asset Management. David Ryan, you've heard him many times on the show before. He is a financial expert, and he and his team can help you with whatever part of your financial journey you happen to be on. Financial planning, estate planning, retirement, investments, business financing. David Ryan and his team at Cadre do it all. Learn more about how they can help you secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or just go to cadreassetmgmt.com.
Cadre Asset Management is a Missouri-based independent advisory firm licensed under and securities and investment advisory services offered through Founders Financial Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
Hey everybody, Tim Hawkins here. You may know me from my years in comedy, and I am grateful to God for the platform it's given me, especially for the cause of the unborn. My wife and I have been supporters of Thrive Express Women's Healthcare for a long time, and I really can't think of a better ministry to partner with in St. Louis to see parents empowered and babies saved. Truly, we have seen story after story come out of Thrive of not only babies being saved from abortion, but even parents coming to know Jesus and stepping into eternal life. What can be better? These folks really are on the front lines in our city. Would you consider coming alongside Heather and me to support Thrive? It's their end of fiscal year, and the dollars that come in up to June 30th will play a huge role in what the next year of ministry will look like. Hop on thrivealivestl.org now and give to see the next parents empowered and babies saved. There's a triple match until midnight the 30th. Let's make a difference in our city. That's thrivealivestl.org.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Thanks for taking my call. News, analysis, opinion. Radio news junkie. Love every bit about it. News Talk STL. You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia? At a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 News Talk STL. That moment that I just played was so good.
It was delicious.
So good. By the way, the theme today is walk-up music. If you guys have any recommendations for walk-up music, let me know. I love Rage Against the Machine. I think everybody in here does.
Yeah, I was raging.
Oh, you're raging. And it's so funny that this is one of those bands that was like,
oh yeah,
screw the government. And now it's like, we love the government.
Right,
we love everything about it.
They were literally saying, do what they tell you.
Do what they tell you. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they absolutely
get
are.
that back.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for being here. I told you that I wanted your comments. I still do. I'm going to read a couple of these, gentlemen, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
We have awesome people on the stream today. Thank
Sure
you
do.
so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching us from whatever platform you can. Okay, let's start with Scotty. Scotty was there last night.
Yeah, he
so
was.
great to finally meet you, Scotty. We love having you on our streams every day.
I didn't get to see him. I was outside, I think, maybe.
Oh yeah,
I missed him.
He was looking for you, I think, but he did make his rounds and say hi to everybody. He says the debate was well. I think Joe needs to ride off into the sunset with his walker and eat his pudding. I think your sentiments, a lot of people feel that exact same way. We have MJ on Rumble. He says, I was shocked how semi-professional Tapper and Bash were. I'd give them about 80% respect for the job they did as moderators. Trump, of course, did a phenomenal job. I agree with the comments about the moderators.
Yeah, can I say something about that a little bit, though?
The moderators?
Yeah, the moderators. I agree with you. I totally agree with that, except I think they had no choice. I think what happened was their rules that they put in place put them in a position where they didn't have much of a choice but to be that way.
With all the time restraints and everything.
Yeah, all that stuff. And the fact that Donald Trump, they could have stepped out and said, excuse me, Mr. Trump, stop. But he wasn't doing anything because they had the mute button.
Right.
So
they didn't need to intervene.
They didn't have to intervene. So they were good. They were good hosts. Like Donald Trump was a good guest.
Yeah. Okay. So the rules kept them in line.
I think so. I believe a little of that. I do agree that they were good.
I will say also, I was surprised at how fair the questions were because
I'll go with that. Yeah.
Their first question out the gate was, "Hey, this economy sucks, Joe Biden. Where you can explain yourself?" And I was like, "Holy!" I was like, "Whoa, did they just say that?"
I love it.
They did.
So Linda on Facebook says, I agree with you, Katie, on everything. Well, thank you.
Mm.
It's just one person. I love it. I love that Trump was measured and sad to see a man suffering from mental decline. His wife, family, advisors, in the media should be ashamed, talking about Joe Biden.
Mhm.
This last one is from Kathleen, who was able to join us at Saving America Tuesday. Thank you so much, Kathleen. We loved meeting you there. She says, not just Joe Biden, but all of Joe Biden's handlers should be held accountable.
Yep.
It's criminal. They have been propping him up there as though he's the president of the United States and he's doing a poor job. This is a crime for the obvious reasons, and because we know he is not the true president. I mean, someone else is running the country. Who's doing this?
Mm.
We've all been saying Joe is just
The puppet.
He's just the face.
Yeah.
He's
He's
the
Obama's
face.
puppet. Puppet Master Obama. That's who I think it is.
Well, I mean, two images come to mind. One is the puppet from Jeff Dunham. He's got he's got the old man, and he actually did a Joe Biden version of his Walter. I think is the old man puppet that he has. There's that one aspect of it, but also they're weekend at Bernie's going on with this, where they're basically using Joe Biden as a meat puppet to say, hey, yes, I can stay in this house. This house actually belongs to me.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
And it's the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And as conservatives, we are very empathetic and sympathetic to human beings, and when they're being mistreated, including Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But we cannot put on the brakes now.
Right.
Because Joe Biden, he's complicit in so many things, like the murders that are happening because of the illegal aliens crossing the border. That's just the beginning. I'm talking about everything, the fentanyl, everything. Joe Biden is, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Joe Biden is a criminal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's keep that in mind when we're being sympathetic and empathetic toward Joe Biden.
Totally.
Oh, sure. I
and
mean,
he's just as equally as power hungry as Jill. I
exactly.
mean,
Jill might be the worst now. She's a monster.
But Joe has always wanted this, and I don't think he cared if it was going to be at 60 or 70 or 80. Joe has always wanted this, and that's why he ran 3 other times and failed miserably.
You're correct, Katie.
So I have a clip. Gabe just mentioned this a little bit earlier. Joe Scarborough was talking months ago about how phenomenal Joe is, and great Joe.
Talking him up. He's great.
And now all of a sudden, there's a lot of people who are changing their tune.
Personal feelings, personal admiration, love, respect, honor, all the things I talked about in my feelings about Joe Biden, Jill Biden, and their family, that Mika and her family have felt about Joe Biden for 50 years, that I felt for as long as I've known him, that you felt about Joe Biden, that cannot play a role in any of this. This is a battle for the future of American democracy. And now is a good time. In June, thank God, in June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task of running for president of the United States.
We've known and loved him for a very long time.
Very long.
So much admiration.
Oh, and we can't have personal feelings in this anymore. Give me a freaking break,
Seriously.
Joe Scarborough.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to note. Obviously, this is audio, no video, but I did see the video. Mika would not look up at the camera once. When Joe was, there must be, I didn't watch what her opinion was because I cannot stand the love affair of Joe and Mika. But she was not looking at the camera at all when Joe was speaking. And I think that I think she disagrees. Who else disagrees? Joy.
Reid.
Joy. Is it Joy Reid? No, who's
Behar?
the View? Behar.
Oh, Behar also?
Joy Behar disagrees and thinks that it's CNN's fault.
Yeah.
The way that Joe Biden was presented
Really?
and the way the view of him at the debate, like it was CNN's fault.
I'm sorry.
So now we
What are we
have,
talking about here?
it's crazy. It's crazy to come to that conclusion. But Ken, I hear audio like this. I hear him saying, we love him, we respect him, he's a BFF, but he's got to go. And I'm thinking to myself, how many other Democrats, how many other people that actually do pull the strings at the top are thinking the same as Joe?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they haven't seen this coming from left field for like 3 miles away. I don't understand it, but you got to understand these people are power hungry, okay? And everybody's trying to make Joe more human. Remember when they were saying, well, Joe's a father that just loves his son when Hunter was in trouble.
They said he was a proud papa.
Oh, the proud papa.
The proud papa that won't identify one of his children.
Mhm.
But
or grandchildren.
Our grandchildren, right. So you've got to keep remembering this is a extremely dysfunctional family
Mhm.
that has 20 shell corporations named after the grandchildren.
Mhm.
They've got estimated now over $100 million they're trying to figure out where it all is right now,
Mhm.
that the whole family is involved in getting pieces
Mhm.
of.
Yeah.
I mean, this family is the most corrupt political family in the history of this country. And I want everybody to remember that when Joe is going off into the sunset because he can't talk. I get it. Have sympathy for the guy, but don't go too far with that because this is a bad family.
So, Gabe, is it coming? Are they going to be? I mean, Joe Scarborough kept saying it's June. Thank God it's June and not October. Is the change coming?
I think it has to. I think at this point, and okay. First of all, I think one of the things that was really, really telling about the reactions here was how a lot of these operatives, they were talking about the calls they were getting. They were talking about a lot about the behind the scenes conversations that was coming through. Down ballot candidates in swing states who were saying this is going to lose my election too, because the down ballot effect of a bad top ticket is real.
Mhm.
And so they were very, very worried. A lot of people have really serious trepidations because they saw the reality of it. Maybe it became really real. It's like, we can't keep covering this up. This is too much. It's right in your face. So in that regard, I think they're going to have to make the change. Now, my main problem with this seeming as though it's a surprise and they're making this massive heel turn out of nowhere is that it feels deliberate on some level. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
they didn't have to agree to a debate in the first place. Well, I remember
They were the ones who started it.
They're the ones that started this. I remember saying, it's like, wait a second, they are going to debate? I assumed there was going to be no debate because like we've been observing, Joe Biden isn't all there. I wouldn't, and his handlers keep protecting him from the press and from questions, and even at the town halls, it's like no questions, and they rush him out of the door. But for some reason, they picked a fight with Donald Trump with this debate, and it didn't make sense to me. Unless this was the plan. They wanted to present him as a weak candidate now so that they had time enough to make a change.
That does ring. That sets off some alarms to me also, now that you're saying it, because I will have to give Ken something, and I'll have to give Ken some major kudos, because I have been someone this entire time, and so has Tony. But Tony's not here. We'll be talking to Tony at 3:25 today. But I've been saying they're going to keep Joe. They're going to keep him. There's no way he's not going to be the nominee. He's going to be the person. They're going to keep Joe. And after last night, I got to tell you, Ken, I don't think they're going to be keeping Joe. I don't think they're going to be keeping Joe.
No, they can't.
Well, yeah, I have been saying it since January 20th, 2021. That he will not finish. And it's only my observations of the way he walked, the way he talked, everything was getting worse. I saw the progression in just that short amount of time. But Katie, I gotta give you kudos because you said something about the money. You said follow the money earlier, and this is what we're talking about here. What is politics? Politics is driven by what? Money. Cash. And this debate last night is going to dry up his funds. That's what's going to determine. What's going to determine what's going to happen next. But you got a Kamala Harris factor in here, guys. We haven't even touched on. She's not giving that up easy.
Yeah.
It's going to be, that's another part of this. It's not going to be just more like turning a skateboard. It's going to be like turning a train to get rid of him. I'm just saying, they're going to have their hands full if they can do it at all.
Turning a cruise ship that's headed towards a bridge.
Yes. Yes.
Can they do it?
I'm not sure they can.
It looks like no.
It looks like no.
Maybe
the
not.
answer is no.
Yeah.
So I do want to read a couple of things before we have to take our next break. And this is MSNBC. MSNBC host Joy Reid admitted that Democrats are on the verge of a full-fledged panic following President Biden's alarming debate performance against former President Trump. This is coming from Fox News. Biden, who spoke with a hoarse, raspy voice, had a number of verbal missteps throughout the 90-minute CNN debate. During the post-debate analysis on MSNBC, Reid said Democrats, specifically campaign people, like you mentioned, Gabe, were frantically texting her with concerns that Biden appeared extremely feeble and weak, adding that his performance left many in his own party rattled heading to November. She says this, obviously, Joe Biden comes with certain defects. He has a stutter. That wasn't
There's
what
no
we
such
thought.
thing.
Oh, we didn't. It
Sorry.
wasn't that, and it wasn't the cold.
No.
It was more difficult for him to communicate for that reason. So there's a lot to mitigate the way that he speaks, and you can understand it. We have observed that for a long time. That said, I too was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama, with Democrats, and with people who are political operatives, and with campaign people. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout, and the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. They also had Jen Psaki on the panel, and Jen Psaki was like, well, maybe there's campaign people and maybe there's members of Congress talking about it, but it's certainly not widespread. It's not something that everyone's saying that, we
Did she
can't
really
have.
say that?
Oh, yeah. She's also tethered to him.
That's true.
She's attached to the White House. She's attached to him. The only thing that she can do is spin it up until the decision is made.
Fell back into her old pattern as the White House spokesperson.
Yes.
Well, yeah, what we called it earlier was the propaganda wing of the Biden administration. That
Yes.
extends through all of media right now, okay?
Absolutely.
And when these people are talking about Joe Biden, the Today Show this morning, it was amazing to me. I'm thinking, oh man, they're going to be up against the wall. You know what they talked about?
What?
Just how horrible Trump lied. Trump lied the whole time. And every lie that they claimed was a lie was not a lie. But they had to find something. And then when Joe Biden got stuck, remember when he got stuck and he talked about Medicare?
Yes.
And Trump said, yeah, you sure did. You destroyed Medicare, whatever it was. You have the clip, I think. But they didn't play the part where Trump got him. They didn't play the gotcha, the Trump response. They just played the part about Joe Biden getting stuck. That was not enough for me. I wanted to hear Trump's response to that, and they didn't play it.
We saw a man stumble his way through 90 minutes. We saw another person. We saw another man, because we do believe in genders around here. Two of them.
Yep.
We saw a stark difference on that stage. We saw two people, as Ken pointed out earlier, one of them coming on the stage strong and ready for a fight, the other needing assistance to the podium on and off the debate stage. This is the stark contrast we're working with, people. This is the reality. I don't need to tell our listeners. Our listeners are so smart. They have been watching politics for such a long time. They understand what's going on. My fear is that the American people need to really wake up after what they saw and understand this is the reality we're living in. This is a really critical time that if we continue to have Joe Biden, this country could take a really, really big downturn.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't like Trump and his personality, it might be time to get over it.
Right.
We are going to come right back with Steve Templeton to give us that weekend weather forecast that I know all of you look forward to. You are listening to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
Saying that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's two letters. It means artificial intelligence.
Draw the same that burn crosses.
Number one for live and local conservative talk. News Talk STL.
Danny Define here, host of the all-new show, The Next Gen, with me, Danny Define. We're going to cover all the hard-hitting topics on this show, from national headlines to things happening right here in St. Louis.
Next Gen with Danny Define.
Join me every Sunday at 10 p.m. right here on News Talk STL.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet has been so good to my family, my parents, and my in-laws. They helped my parents out in such a big way whenever my parents decided it was time to rip up their old carpet and replace it with some new flooring. Now, that carpet had a lot of love on it. There was about 30 years, maybe even more. Sorry, Mom and Dad, for outing you guys. But there was a lot that happened on that carpet, and it was time for my parents to have something new that was able to cover their house and make it almost feel brand new again. Michael's got the installation done right the first time and gave my parents so much peace of mind whenever they came and ripped up their old carpet. You could visit Michael's at one of their 3 locations in Dardine Prairie, Creve Coeur, or St. Peter's, or shop online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Steve Templeton's Weekend Forecast, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. I am Katie Fitzpatrick. I will be guiding you for the next hour here on Colombo and Katie. And I have one of my great friends, Gabe Pfeiffer, in the studio with me. He is from Mike Ferguson in the Morning, which is a show you can listen to Monday through Friday starting at 5:30. Every single morning, it's Gabe, it's Mike, it's Stell. You get some good stuff, people. You don't want to miss Mike Ferguson in the Morning.
Yes, you come away feeling like you know what's going on in the world, but you're not mad about it. So
it is such a
we have fun.
Yes, you guys have a lot of fun. It's a breath of fresh air, that show. You guys have different perspectives. You guys have such a wide variety of conversation that's even outside of politics. I highly encourage you guys listen to that show and then just keep listening all day, because every single show on News Talk STL rocks. And one of the reasons why this station rocks and these show rock is because we have partners like KMOV, and we have the blessing and the honor to speak with Steve Templeton, chief meteorologist at KMOV, every single Friday, and he gives us the weekend weather forecast. Steve, how are you doing on this Friday?
Hi, Katie. Hi, Gabe. I'm doing good. This is a good day compared to what's coming for Saturday.
Oh no,
good day Sunday. So there's some good and bad. Okay. Good and bad.
I'm so thrilled to hear this, because today felt perfect, Steve. It was like not super hot. It didn't even really feel humid, although I don't know anything about weather. I'm sure you're going to tell us. It just felt beautiful. So I'm crossing my fingers that there's just a tiny bit of good news. Steve, let us know.
Well, there is some really good news. Sunday is beautiful. I mean, just marvelous. You've got to get outside and enjoy Sunday. Saturday's not horrible. There will be some dry time, but there's 2 rounds of storms to at least watch for. And in between, it's going to be a sauna. I mean, it's just flat out going to be very, very humid. So that's the bad news on Saturday, big picture. Here's the finer details to help you plan around it for your weekend. Overnight tonight, there's a chance for some storms, mainly 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. They're going to be weakening as they move in, so I don't expect any severe weather in St. Louis, but still some scattered showers and thunder, a low of 76. The rain's going to move out by mid to late morning. It's gone, and then we're just going to be hot and very humid. 93 for the high, but the humidity is going to push that heat index to 100 to 103.
Oh,
That's what it's gonna feel
Steve.
like.
Oh, what are you doing to us, Steve?
Oh, no.
Like you control the weather.
We always blame
Well,
Steve.
Mother Nature's going to help us out on Sunday and make
Okay.
up for it. But before we get there, Saturday, just keep an eye on the sky for storms in St. Louis about 4 p.m. to maybe 7 p.m., maybe 9 p.m. farther to the south of St. Louis. There is a chance that as a front comes through, it starts to pop up a couple of isolated storms that may produce some hail or wind. It's a low severe threat. But still something to keep an eye on. So in general, late afternoon, evening, maybe an isolated strong storm, still stays very humid. But that front that comes through, Sunday, it brings beautiful weather. Mostly sunny, 84, no heat index.
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
just gorgeous.
All right.
So there's the makeup.
That is
There's the makeup
beautiful.
there.
So, Steve, I am going to the Cardinals game on Sunday. That's at 1
Okay,
p.m.
perfect.
I mean, not Sunday. I'm sorry, not Sunday. Saturday.
Oh,
sorry.
no.
Got everyone's hopes up. I'm going Saturday at 1 p.m. Am I going to be roasted alive? I am so nervous. I am, Steve, I am not a big sports person. I don't know anything about sports. I'm really going for the beer and the hot dog. But I'm nervous about the heat.
Yeah, it's not going to be comfortable. I mean, 93 is hot enough, but I really think it's the humidity that is just going to be stifling, might be a good term for it. Stifling. And that beer is going to get warm quickly. It's not one of those like 99, 100 degree days where heat index 110. It's going to be more like, it's hot, but my body can't breathe. It's so humid. You can cut the humidity with a knife type of thing. And it's just not going to be real comfortable. But, maybe after a couple of beers, you'll loosen up.
I guess what you're telling me, Steve, is I have to chug.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're saying.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's like the beer's going to get warm. You can't let it do that. You have to chug it.
And guys,
No, that is not my profession. Okay?
I promise it's not Steve. Now, there's nothing worse than whenever you have to sit in a seat that's really hot and your knees have to touch someone else's knees and it's really hot.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one thing that I am not looking forward to. But I'm still going to go, Steve. Even if it's like hell outside, I'm still going to go and enjoy myself. Thank you so much for being on the show with us and for giving us a weekend weather forecast every single Friday. We appreciate your time. We know it's very, very valuable. So thank you, Steve, for all you do for News Talk STL. And we will look forward to speaking with you next Friday.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Gabe. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah. So I have a brother and a mom and a dad that love sports.
Right. And
Like,
you're it's just not you, though.
oh no, it's never been me. But I do like to go to things like, I like, if you haven't noticed already, I love to be social. And Cardinals games are so fun because everybody's buck and, everyone, there's just an energy there.
Yeah.
But I have to say, my mom's listening right now. And so is my dad. They always are listening. I'm always watching. And that is the number one thing that I am like, oh my gosh, it's going to be hot. How do you combat the heat?
I think you're going to have to make real good friends with the guy who comes by with the waters.
Yeah.
The water bottles. That guy. You're just going to be like, hey, look, just keep every half hour, just come through. I got you.
And you have an amazing announcement to make about a beautiful woman that we both love. You love her more, okay?
Yes.
But I still love her too.
Yes, my wife Janet, her birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, honey. Now, thankfully, though, I decided instead of celebrating tomorrow, we're going to celebrate this evening. I have a bit of a surprise event for her that we're going to go to. So Steve told us that the weather's going to be great this evening. We're going to chill at home tomorrow.
Yes.
And then Sunday after church, maybe we'll go do something else.
Happy 25th birthday to our beloved Janet.
Yes,
We love you. Thank you for being a great wife to our wonderful Gabe. You both are great humans. I'm happy to know you guys.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Okay, so here's something that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Undecided voters. What do they think? Where are they at?
I've never understood undecided voters.
Who
by the
are
way.
you?
Yeah. Please explain yourself.
You explain yourself. So Reuters did this thing, and they asked a group of people. It was a small group of people after the debate. I can't even believe they found these people after the debate. What they thought.
Right.
Here are some of their replies, and I want to get your reaction to this, Gabe.
Okay.
A group of U.S. voters who are unable to choose between Joe Biden and Donald Trump before Thursday's presidential debate delivered their verdicts after the contest, and it was almost universally bad news for Joe Biden. 13 undecideds who spoke with Reuters, 10 described the 81-year-old Democratic president's performance against Donald Trump collectively as feeble, befuddled, embarrassing, and difficult to watch. Gina, she's 65, a retiree in the battleground state of Georgia, voted for Trump in 2016 before ditching him for Biden in 2020.
It's one of those.
Wow. That is, I truly don't. That is wild to
Really
me.
don't understand that one.
She says this: Joe Biden looked very weak and confused right from the start. It concerns me that our global enemies see Joe Biden in this manner. I was shocked and dismayed. I hate to see our president acting that way on TV and in front of the world. I am absolutely voting for Donald Trump now.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
It's a oof. Gosh.
7 of the 9 voters who were dismayed by Biden's performance told Reuters they were now leaning towards Trump because they no longer believe Biden can perform his duties as president. 25th Amendment.
There it is.
3 of those said they would definitely vote for Trump in his November 5th election rematch with Biden, even though 2 of them said they do not like the former president because of his personality.
Of course.
Lastly, Meredith, 51, who lives in Los Angeles and is self-employed, said the debate left her in shock. She voted for Biden in 2020, but is now leaning towards Trump, given by what she described as Biden's lack of mental acuity. She says this: God forbid if my choices are as they stand right now based on this debate. Hands down. Okay, girl, you know what? I do get that.
Understood.
Hands down, I would vote for a liar and a convict over a person who doesn't seem to be there mentally. I know we only have about a minute and a half, but
Yeah.
Gabe, that line, I would rather vote for a liar and a convict over a person who doesn't seem to be there mentally. Do you think that the undecideds, the independents, that is what they really are thinking? Like,
That seems to be the prevailing idea that I keep hearing from the various people who have independence somewhere that they can pull out and say, "Hey, independent, what do you think?" That seems to be the case. That as much as they hate Trump, even people who are really disappointed in him or otherwise, they have some beef against Trump that made them start to lean away from him, or maybe they never liked him to begin with. They look at Joe Biden and they say, "Well, we can't do that to our country."
does this in 1 minute, that idea that you just pointed out, excuse me, make the country more patriotic?
Oh.
Or, I mean, think about that. Does it make, they're putting their country over their personal feelings. Does it make them and our country more patriotic in the long run?
That's a really good question. I would suppose it does. I suppose by making this such a stark contrast, people are forced to really think about the country as opposed to their personal preference or their personal feelings about these things. And it's like, it's not good for our country to have somebody like that in office. Better to have the lying convict, right? As they say.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Gabe and I will be right back with our good friend from Thrive STL. Kevin is going to be joining us. You're listening to Colombo and Katie.
If the time has come to sell the house, you know, you're empty nesters now, the kids are gone. Why do we need all these bedrooms? Yeah, selling the house may be a good idea. A better idea when you want to sell your house is to go to the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. That's our great friends, Rodney and Jen Wallner, who are so good at this, they sell 15 times more homes than your average realtor. So let them help you sell your house. Just go to Rodney and Jen Wallner. Right, Mike Ferguson?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Vic. As a matter of fact, the first time I talked to Rodney and Jen about this cabin project that my wife and I have, they looked at all the factors and said, if I were you, I'd wait. When was the last time you heard somebody in real estate say, wait, don't buy something right now? Well, he knew the market conditions were going to change, and they did to our favor, but that shows how good they are at this and how honest and ethical Rodney and Jen Wallner are. That's why I won't work with anybody else. You shouldn't either. Give them a call today, 314-810-SOLD.
Caring for a loved one is stressful. It's an emotional time, and we want our loved ones to get the quality of care they deserve. But the cost of long-term care is expensive. In the St. Louis area, it could be $60,000, $70,000, or even over $100,000. Can your savings handle this added expense? Fortunately, News Talk STL listeners have an expert right here. Financial strategist Chris Cooper of Serenity Wealth Management shows families tax-efficient strategies to fund care needs. Whether planning in advance, have health concerns, or living in a care community today, solutions exist to fund the quality of care you deserve.
Hi, I'm Chris Cooper, and I'd love to send you a free copy of my new book. You'll learn about strategies to empower you and your family, protect your savings, and make sure your loved ones get the quality of care they deserve.
Visit SerenityLTC.com. That's SerenityLTC.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Now, Speaker Mike Johnson says he saw a stark contrast between the two candidates during last night's televised presidential debate.
I think what everybody has seen now with their own two eyes, what they've all witnessed in a almost surprising fashion for some. I'm not sure why it was surprising to them because we've been saying this for a long time, but there was only one man on that stage who is capable and qualified of being elected president in the next term, and his name is Donald J. Trump.
A CNN instant poll of debate watchers indicated that Donald Trump won the night by 67 to 37%. Also at townhall.com, former President Trump and Governor Glenn Youngkin appearing together for the first time at a Virginia rally. Bernie Bennett with details.
At an afternoon rally in Chesapeake, one day after his first scheduled debate with President Biden, Mr. Trump is set to play up an apparent shift in his relationship with the governor as well as with voters in Virginia, where two recent polls show the race for president tied. Though independent political analysts and even Republican strategists don't rate Virginia a top-tier swing state, Trump and Youngkin have declared the Commonwealth in play. Youngkin suggested in a recent Fox News interview that his record, as much as President Trump's, has opened the door for Republicans in the state that hasn't picked one for president since George W. Bush in 2004. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Prosecutors resting after presenting evidence for 7 weeks at the bribery trial of Senator Bob Menendez, enabling the Democrat and two New Jersey businessmen to begin calling their own witnesses to support defense arguments. Prosecutors say gold bars and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash found in a 2022 raid of Menendez's home were bribes. Defense lawyers claim the gold belonged to his wife, and the cash resulted from his habit of storing cash at home after his family lost almost everything in Cuba before they moved to New York. The Dow losing 41 points today, and the NASDAQ lost 126. More at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got some storms overnight and early Saturday morning, especially in the 4 a.m. to about 9 a.m. time range. Scattered showers, some thunderstorms, a low of 76 degrees. Then it's going to dry out for a little bit, very humid, and a high of 93. So heat index will be around 100 to 103 in the afternoon. We do have to watch the late afternoon for an isolated brief thunderstorm. Could be severe. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that in the late afternoon. Early evening, it will be south of St. Louis. And then we head into Sunday with lower humidity, mostly sunny, and a high of 84. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. Fox News commentary.
Another young girl was reportedly murdered by an illegal immigrant. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing, entrepreneurial, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why 148 financial advisors joined Stifel last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel is the firm where success meets success. Visit www.choosestifel.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
In 0 days since an illegal alien has murdered an innocent young girl, an illegal from Ecuador is accused of suffocating, murdering, and then burying a 21-year-old girl in Syracuse on her birthday. Her remains were found in a shallow grave near an area park. The Ecuadorian illegal alien is charged with second-degree murder and concealment of a human corpse. He turned himself in this week. Officials say the illegal alien accused of this heinous act was caught and released at the border last year, a pattern that is becoming all too regular with Biden's open border policies in place. Young women in America are the most vulnerable targets for those in our country seeking to rape and murder. Democrat apologists continue to shrug off this crisis with talking points or worse, complete avoidance. Democrats do not care about women, just abortion. And here is just another tragic example. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows. Mike Ferguson in the morning, The Vic Porcelli Show, Colombo and Katie, Jones and Arps. Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. Subscribe and watch News Talk STL.
You need cooling, baby. I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to schooling.
Stream Colombo and Katie at newstalkstl.com. Colombo and Katie, the new faces of talk radio.
Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision.
Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 1019 941 News Talk STL. That was Joe Biden talking about, I don't know what game. I honestly, maybe I'm just stupid or like I've been ignorant to like liberal talking points. I'm not sure which is the truth there, but I have never heard the 3 trimester one between the thingy and then the one between the doctor.
I have no idea what that was supposed to be about.
Have you heard
No.
of any of that? Is that just something that happens, excuse me, on like the liberal echo chamber or
No, I mean, as far as I've ever seen, the responses for, should there be any restrictions? Because we've seen those questions before to liberal politicians. Generally speaking, they answer with a deflection. I think the decision, to keep or terminate a pregnancy should be between a woman and her doctor. They never answer the question about whether there should be limits. They say it should be between a woman and her doctor, which ultimately means, whatever you want, basically, full 9 months. And that's kind of been the general understanding of between the parties.
Mhm.
The left supports that because and they won't answer honestly to say
Right.
all 9 months, but they also want to do this whole it's above my pay grade type of answers. I've never heard this particular version of an answer from a Democrat. First of all, the first trimester thing or the 3 trimester thing, or
yeah,
and then the breakdown.
the breakdown makes
It made no sense.
sense.
No sense whatsoever. And then there was another instance where I think they re-asked him a question
Mhm.
about it led him to make a definitive declaration that he doesn't support late-term abortion, which is one thing that I thought was new because usually they deflect those.
Yeah, totally. This is a perfect situation to speak about because we're going to bring on our friend Kevin from part of the leadership at Thrive St. Louis. But before we do that,
Mhm.
the ball was in Biden's court when it came to abortion.
Yes.
He could have easily snatched up that question and run with it and had an answer that a portion of America would have been able to understand and probably to some degree be about. But the winner of that was Donald Trump.
Oddly enough, yes.
Because he told the truth. I think Donald Trump told the truth. I think he said what being pro-life meant to him. He also said it might not be what other people view as pro-life. Everyone needs to follow their heart, which I thought was awesome. But he said, this is what I believe as someone being pro-life. You might believe something different, but the only way we can have this discussion is if I get elected. And that's what we have to think about. And that's honesty. To me, that was very honest. And we're going to bring Kevin on right now with us. Kevin Pliego, he is part of the leadership at Thrive St. Louis. Kevin, I know that you guys at Thrive, they are the biggest champions when it comes to protecting the life of the unborn. They are the biggest champions when it comes to the pro-life movement. Thrive St. Louis has done so many things for pregnant women, for families, for fathers who are just becoming dads and don't know what to do about it. And we love partnering with Thrive here at News Talk STL. But Kevin, when you hear that clip from Joe Biden, as someone that is leadership at Thrive, what does that mean to you? What does it say that our president is completely okay with throwing he said he would put Roe v. Wade back if he does a second term
somehow.
And he also had this weird, bizarre explanation, Kevin, that Gabe and I are like, we have never heard about this a day in our lives.
Yeah, no, it's like you guys say, it doesn't make sense. It just really, really doesn't. But what does make sense, guys, one, thank you guys for having me on. We love to always talk to friends and family and partners and with you guys. So thank you guys for giving us a platform here at Thrive to be able to represent the truth, the genuine truth, what we call also a pro-authentic choice. When things don't make sense, which is to elaborate a little bit, it's just critical times. It just shows where we're at and where we stand and where we're heading as a country. So we need to really, really pray ultimately and activate as people who stand for a reason, which again, like you guys said, it didn't make sense. And honestly, when they were talking about abortion and all the other topics, what I wanted to get involved in was the golfing match. I wanted to say, hey, let me
go,
pretty good swing. So let's see, you know?
I love that.
By the way, that was the funniest part. That was two old men arguing about their golf handicap. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in politics. But Kevin,
that's so great.
One thing that also kind of was discussed as part of that discussion, Trump made it clear that and even the moderators made it clear that the striking down of Roe v. Wade meant that this all goes to the states. So now instead of one big federal fight, we have 50 state fights, right? And so tell us a little bit about what Thrive is doing to fight each of those fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, it's very critical, and Thrive has stepped up to play with many other partners, especially here in the state of Missouri. As you guys know, we're the Show Me State, and we like to say we're the Show Me Pro-Life State. Right now, it's a crucial emergency, urgent time because they're trying to pass those ballot initiatives to really almost like defend death and defend destruction through the state of Missouri, and obviously that could replicate to other states. But what we're doing here at Thrive is, one, we're always empowering women, and we're pushing our brand. And you guys are familiar with our brand. Your listeners are awesome. They have participated with us and partnered with us to save many moms, dads, and lives because it works. So our branding, our system, our business model, anything is superior to anything that Planned Parenthood has or will get to offer. But again, to go back a little bit to the plastic side of things, we're just partnering with people to become more strategical and see how we're going to defend. We know how we're going to do it. We're just, building that up and really standing for truth and a lot of prayer. And it just reminds me, I'm 20 years old, and it reminds me that, we for my generation, we're looking at a lot of media, a lot of pushing the media and brainwashing from the left radical side. And it's a time for our older generation who should step up to give us wisdom, to give us some of the guidance, to empower us to to fight that radical woke agenda. But again, Thrive has stepped up to the plate. We're still stepping up to the plate. We're not giving up. Nobody is. We'll make sure that Missouri continues to be a show me pro-life state. And we're combating that with just truth, authentic choice, as we provide resources to women who are in need or who are facing a crisis pregnancy, with, offer them free STD testing, ultrasound, diapers for their lifetime, classes that empower them directly to be able to parent or feel the empowerment to parent and choose life ultimately. And also, we're targeting the dads now.
Yes.
And Katie, I know you're familiar with PDE, which Pi Delta Epsilon stands for faith, integrity, and prosperity. And it has been a game changer. It really, really has. Just last night, I'll get to lead one of the groups here in our city, and a couple of dads, we went to the back and kind of had a guy talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were, one of the guys opened up a little bit and was saying that he went through a house fire, and that could have turned out to be a horrible circumstance. But because of people like your listeners and yourselves and Thrive and the church, they stepped up, and really the turnover was with 2 or 3 days. They restored everything from their microwave to clothes to where it looks like. And he looked at me right in my eyes and said, I'm so grateful for Thrive.
Wow.
I'm so grateful for how you guys stepped in. And we have many, many more cases, and that's going on like right now. Bridget made a great point when she was on with Mike that, right now our hearts are beating. We have a woman in crisis whose heart's beating, and we have a baby in the womb whose heart's beating. And they're making the decision whether or what to do. And maybe they're going to go on Google and search abortion. And because of the great work and partnership, we're able to pop on the 1, 2, or 3 spot in a Google search, which gave us that glimpse of hope and light to be able to help them and reach them with that pro-authentic choice for the resources they need for them to choose to parent, to choose life.
So, Kevin,
that's what we do here at Thrive.
I love Thrive. I love what you guys do. And you mentioned this, and I want you to expand on it a little bit too, because not only is this about taking care of mom and taking care of a young woman who is scared and doesn't know what she's getting herself into with a pregnancy. She probably is looking for an abortion clinic, and then she happens on Thrive and she feels community. She feels love. She feels understanding, and she feels like she can have a support system. All very true, all very critical and important things. But you mentioned dad. You mentioned a first-time father who is also scared, who also doesn't know what's going on. And Thrive has built such an amazing community for men. And I want you to talk about this a little bit and expand on it. You guys have built such a great community for men that they also can start to feel trust, and they can also start to find other people that might be in the same situation as them and feel connection. And I'd love for you to talk about that, because this is unique to all other pro-life clinics I've ever heard of.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Thrive has always been almost like 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game. And this came about a while back on our president's and vision leader's heart. And then the men started stepping up. They started working at Thrive, and finally we said, okay, it's time. As men were stepping up here as staff, and we had the volunteer team, and the great support, the base to be able to stand on this and conquer this, because it's not an easy task. It really isn't. To reach men, trust, loyalty, safe space, dealing with their trauma and so forth, like we deal with our guys. It's been a pleasure and a blessing, because we see the miracles at it. But that's why we implemented, and that the reason it took some time to do so. But now that we're at it, it's been like a snowball effect. We've seen the miracles, the transformations, and the ways that we do that, guys, is obviously, like you said, the trust. We're consistent. We have leaders like myself, Levi, and other groups where we are consistent. We are genuine. We love on them. We bring the best out of them. We're to help them, whether they need a job, whether they need just to talk. We watch curriculum with them. And we just have those heart-to-heart, tough conversations with them without judgment, to really empower them into that battlefield that they're facing because of X, Y, and Z, lack of resources, just their trauma, their depression, anxiety, which is an all-time high. And then also another way we do that, we take the guys out once a quarter. We do an amazing, extravagant event such as cards games, axe throwing, laser tag. We went to the Union Station most recently and went to the aquarium, and we invite them to feel that brotherhood, that community, and to bring their kids to really implement the core memories with them as fathers. And we saw over 50 people show up in the last event, and so many kids, so many memories, so many destinies and anointings and callings were unlocked because those events, you know, which brings us to my next point. We need partnerships. We need men to step up into the plate. And we're asking, hopefully we get, you know, it takes money to do this and really step and really empower these men. So I'm hoping for, you know, to help us with the next event, which is around $5,000. So if you need hard and you guys are praying and your listeners, I would love to get on a phone call or just go to thrivealivestl.org to donate. And also we would love to have 10 more partnerships to empower dads, the moms, the babies. And we can start at $33 a month. And with that being said, guys, Show Me State of Missouri, we have a 70% tax credit available.
Awesome.
It's very powerful, very important, because it really gives you a stretch on your investment. You know, you will see a true tax credit available for you in your donation. So we got people donating $10,000, and they'll get a $7,000 return on top of their deductible. So that gift feels like $1,500, a $10,000 gift.
Wow.
And we have various ranks of that. So we would love to get on the phone call with you or go to thrivealivestl.org. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So that's thrivealivestl.org to find out more information about Thrive, to find out how you can help, maybe donate, maybe have that conversation with Kevin. That's thrivealivestl.org to find out all of that information. Thank you so much, Kevin, for coming on the show with us this afternoon. We love Thrive. We love the partnership. Our listeners love you guys as well. And we're just so happy to have you at News Talk STL with us and just helping the radio station grow. So thank you so much, Kevin, for all of your time today.
Thanks, Kevin.
Of course, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks to the listeners. And by the way, guys, congratulations on the Give STL 8-time championship.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, it was such a great. I warmed my heart to know that we really did help that happen, and we were a big part of that for you guys. So it's just so much growth between us, and we love having you guys, Kevin. So thank you.
Of course, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you, Kevin.
Do not sleep on that tax credit, guys.
Don't sleep on it.
That's for real.
That is the most incredible thing. And as he said, that's something that's noticeable.
Yeah.
Like you can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great.
I mean, we're not talking like it's a reduction in your tax liability. It's not a deduction. It's a credit.
It's a credit.
They send you a check.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Thrive is such a great organization. Again, that is thrivealivestl.org. Go to their website, check out all of their stuff. Maybe you would like to donate. Maybe you'd like just to have a phone call with them or see a tour of their headquarters. Mike and I, excuse me, I have this cough. It's allergies. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It is allergies, people, I promise. Mike and I went on a tour of Thrive in their headquarters, and it was so fun and so awesome. So those are good people. We treat each other well. We love Thrive. Coming up next is the one and only Tony Colombo. He's calling us on his way to Disney. You are listening to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL.
MAGA, Biden against America, great again. Biden against America, great again. MAGA.
Follow us on Getter at News Talk STL. This is 101.9 and 94.1.
Female millennial Trump supporter. I listen to it every day. Seriously, you get it.
News Talk STL.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting, soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
The publication Scientific American was focusing on a poll of how badly divided our nation is. And they jumped back to 1950 and saying political scientists at that time were saying, we're not seeing enough division among Americans to really get an understanding of where our country should be going. Boy, has that changed. And one psychology professor that they interviewed stated there are three components to tribalism in breaking people up. One is called othering. The others are so different that they're almost incomprehensible. The second part, aversion. They're not just different, they're dislikable. The third part, moralization, where they are morally bankrupt. Now, this was a paper published in 2020, and even acknowledging in Scientific American, and I'm quoting, "We know that Russia had an elaborate campaign to influence the outcome of the 2016 election." Yeah, that's what we were being told in 2020. You want a clear example of hatred? The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg has refused to even say Donald Trump's name. Well, the other day she did. She spoke the words Donald Trump, and then she turned to spit. And the audience loved it, howling appraisal. That's hate.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Tony Colombo, live from Florida right now. Speaking of the great outdoors, hopefully we get a little time in the great outdoors this weekend. Hope you get a little time in the great outdoors this weekend. And of course, if you are going to be going out and doing some fishing, are going to be enjoying the great outdoors in any way, they can help you prepare for that trip at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton, about a mile east of Fast Eddie's there on Broadway in Alton. Bluff City Outdoors for decades has been the place to go for fishermen, but they have also recently expanded Bluff City Outdoors. They now have the state-of-the-art archery range that is open every day for you to shoot in. They have all your bow hunting needs covered. They have all your trapping needs covered. And of course, all of your fishing needs covered. Everything from frozen and live bait to being able to set you up with a guided fishing tour on the Mississippi or Missouri River. And of course, all the gear, lures, everything you need for your next trip out on the water. Also, don't forget about the Bluff City Outdoors show every weekend on News Talk STL, Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at noon, and learn more about everything that they have at Bluff City Outdoors by following them on Facebook or at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
My sponsor, McGuire Moving, has job openings for drivers and movers, offering competitive pay. You can be off every night if you want or on the road. You're off every other weekend. Full benefits, insurance, paid vacations. But McGuire is a very good company. So here's a very important requirement. You must excel in making customers happy. Full or part-time job? More information, go to McGuireMoving.com. Apply online at McGuireMoving.com/careers. John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You want to give someone something which they will really enjoy? Give them a Cafe Napoli gift card. You pick the amount, they pick which of the Cafe Napolis they want to visit. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. The Napoli gift card. It's the perfect gift for anyone or your entire office. Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli.
So you guys know that I love to work with local family-owned businesses, and a family, a group that I have known for a long time is the team at Intervine. They make the best lanterns, headlamps, flashlights there are on the market. They sell a lot of their products online, so they have customers all over the country, but they are a local family-owned business that are just doing it and doing it right and doing it big. Great products across the board. They even sell batteries in all different sizes, so you can stock up on batteries when you shop at their website, intervine.com. And right now, you can get everything 25% off. So if you need to get a new flashlight, a new headlamp, a new lantern, a trusty flashlight for the house, or if you are, an outdoorsman and you need products for the outside or a little flashlight for your car, they have it all different shapes and sizes for all different needs. And again, the batteries in all sizes, and 25% off everything right now at intervine.com. You can get just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. You can use it as often as you want, for as many things as you want. Just your whole order every time, 25% off. Just use my name, Tony, as your promo code at intervine.com. INTERVINE, intervine.com.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Did you know that China is buying some agricultural assets right here in the metro area on the east side on Monday? Congressman Mike Bost has something to say about that.
Mornings starting at 5:30 on News Talk STL.
Baga, baga, baga.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody.
Do me a favor and tell Vic that you're my favorite show.
I represent science.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now we're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of this sentence. I don't think he knows what he said.
Roasted.
Why does that make me laugh? I really don't know what he said. I don't think he knows what he said. There were so many hilarious moments from last night's debate. We just talked about one of them with Kevin in our last segment, whenever they were talking about their golf swing. Amazing.
Yes, it was.
That was great when Trump was just like, I don't know what is going on. So I'm just going to continue to answer the question the best way I know how. And Tony Colombo is with us all the way from Disney. And I'm wondering on his 8,000 million hour drive, if he had any moments that he was laughing out loud in the car. Tony, what did we watch last night?
I don't know, but it was amazing. I started in one car ride. I got to watch that debate and then listen to all of Gabe and Mike and Stell this morning and Vic and Ken. And it was all just one drive for me. So we covered it all. And I will say this. I don't know if you guys have talked about this. I'm surprised that the left wing, the media, the mainstream media, especially even, CNN, MSNBC, people that we are used to seeing make excuses, carry water for the president, turn the other cheek. Even every one of those news outlets today had headlines about the disaster of a debate performance by Joe Biden. Even MSNBC couldn't pretend like it wasn't there anymore. I mean, like it was amazing to me because I was ready for the spin. That's what we always get. We always get excuses. He had a cold. It wasn't that bad. Trump lied the whole time. I was just ready for all this. All of this crap. And of course, there's been a lot of misleading reporting about the debate last night. But literally every news outlet that I saw today, one of their top headlines was about what a disaster Joe Biden was on the stage. Even the liberal outlets. So, I mean, that's really saying something when even the media, who are your staunchest defenders, have given up on you.
Gabe, I want you to ask Tony. So, last hour, Gabe brought up the fact that because this might have been planned. I want you go ahead and say it, and then go ahead.
Yes. So the thing, Tony, is we were shocked when they announced the debates to begin with, right? It was like, why would the Biden administration and the Biden team put him in this position? Because we all know that they've been shielding him from all the attention of the press. The press has been complaining about it as much as he's been doing that. He's been calling the lid at 10 a.m. every day. He's been spending so many weeks at his Delaware beach home doing whatever. But everything to get away from the public where he could embarrass himself. But then all of a sudden they say, hey, go debate Trump. And it didn't sit right with me. And now all of a sudden, with the media just basically, like you said, turning on a dime essentially to recognize the absolute and clear truth of the matter, it feels as though he was set up for this. What do you think of that idea, that this was basically part of the Democrat plan?
I wouldn't put anything past anybody. So I think anybody that hears that idea and goes and rolls their eyes or says, "Oh, that's ridiculous," or it's never like, it would never be like that. I would not. I would not agree with that. I would say that I would say there's every chance that could have been the plan all along. But my only issue with that is that I could see the Democrats, that I could see as a party, I could see them sort of making that decision. I could see, I could see the media getting on board with it. But from everything that we read about Joe Biden and Jill Biden as recently as just this week with that report, that Axios report that came out, that everything that we still hear about Jill and Joe is that they still believe, like, to their staff, like this is coming from their own from Biden campaign officials and White House staffers, that he still thinks that he's going to just win the presidency because he's Joe Biden and that's what he does, and Trump's just, Biden's royalty and Trump is trash, and the people, the voters will always, in the end, come around. And so I don't see Joe and especially Jill Biden going along with that. That's my only hang up on that type of an idea. I couldn't see, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't go along with it and they just knew he'd be a disaster and they just threw him out there anyway. But I don't think Joe Biden's smarter than that, but I think Jill Biden is smarter than that. And she wouldn't have allowed that to happen because she's not done being queen of the castle.
Yes.
Jill Biden wants 4 more years of being first lady. And I don't think she's ready to give that up. And I think that Joe Biden's ego and overconfidence, when his brain is working, is at a level that people don't even, the rank and file people don't really understand. And even we've learned so much over the last 4 years from the New York Post and Politico and Axios and all these other places that have done these reports about the behavior of the Bidens inside the White House. So I get it, and I wouldn't be surprised if that is what happened. But my only hang up is I just don't see Joe and Jill Biden, like going along with something like that, and I don't see Jill Biden letting that happen to Joe. That's my only argument against that idea.
Well, I could agree with you with that, the Joe and the Jill, being dyed in the wool and thinking that that's the thing. But I mean, we know they're not the ones that actually in charge of the White House, right? It's just like there is a shadow government who's been kind of controlling things. They could easily have just said, well, just Julius Caesar is behind.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
That is yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
I really believe that they thought he could do it. I really believe that they thought that if they pumped him with whatever they could pump him with, and that he would somehow, because we have seen him go out and be better than he should be. We've seen him we've seen him do press conferences and been like, well, yeah, that was kind of halfway coherent. Like, so I think they thought maybe they'd catch that, like that lucky night where he could fake his way through it, but it was a disaster. And I guarantee you, he had no idea that it was so bad, because he was at the end of the debate. He was like laughing constantly at when he was calling Trump ridiculous, and he's always looking at somebody, like rolling his eyes at somebody and then like smiling at him and laughing. Yes. And I realized, like, at the end of the debate, I was like, he's got to be looking at one of the moderators. There's nobody else there.
Or was it
he's
Jill?
Usually looking at somebody in the audience or somebody in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, what about
Jill?
Would Jill have been in the audience?
I don't think so. I don't think there was anybody out there. I don't think there was anybody out in front of them.
Yeah, I don't.
I could be wrong, but I don't. The way I understood it, there was nobody else in that in front of them in any type of audience, even their own people were not.
What did you think, Tony,
maybe there were, but he thought he was killing it. That's my point. He
Yes.
thought he was just killing it.
What did you think about the moderators? Because I thought that they did a decent job, and Ken brought up that they did a decent job because of their own restrictions, because of their own rules.
They got better as the night went on. I thought at the beginning there were some, I thought ridiculous. I thought there was some ridiculous questions, and I thought, here we go. But it didn't stay at that level throughout the entire debate. I thought they were fine. I thought they definitely exposed their bias multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they, like everybody else, saw that trying to protect Biden was a lost cause. So they changed the approach after about a half an hour.
So within this next minute, Tony, tell me this. Give me your synopsis over Joe Biden and Donald Trump. What are the key points that your takeaways from both of those gentlemen?
Joe Biden is now unrecoverable. He's been exposed at too high of a level. Even the media realizes, even the Democrats apparently seem to realize that they just can't lie about it anymore. You can't take him seriously at all. And the same thing with Trump that we've said, Katie, for the last several weeks. If Donald Trump and the Republicans don't take full advantage of how bad and broken the Democrat Party is, and their lack of candidates and their lack of any type of decent policy, if the Republicans can't circle the wagons and have that big red wave this year, then there needs to be some serious soul searching done in that party, because this should be hammer time.
Yeah, this should be hammer time. No joke.
Yes.
By the way, everybody, Tony is at Disney right now. Tony will be at Disney for a little bit of time. I'm still going to be here. My last day is not today. Everybody thinks,
No.
Tony, my last day is today. It is not today. It's next week it's next Wednesday, and Tony's going to be in Disney. He'll be back. We're still going to do a show together, but Tony's taking some vacay, right?
Yeah, celebrating my daughter's 21st birthday, who, as you guys know, live down here. So we're spending the weekend celebrating her big birthday, and then we'll be back, and Katie and I will have a little bit of time together before she leaves us.
But thank you,
Whatever.
Tony, for whatever. Thank you so much, Tony, for calling. Enjoy your vacay. Happy birthday to Grace.
You bet. Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Colombo and Katie today. We loved you guys. We enjoyed your time. Thank you for streaming us on all of our social media platforms. We will be back on Monday. I will be here, people, on Monday. I am hosting the show with Susie Moore. Thank you guys so much. You've been listening to 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Don't go anywhere. The Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show is coming up next.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Hit the links in style this season with